having a birth certificate is a right of the child. It's a right of identity. It's a first document that gives identity to the person, to be known, to be, known who you are. Because everything's about identity. Now, identity is given out of the piece of paper, and that's what we give to the child. So we've given him the right to be identified, the right to be known. Let me say this. This is very interesting for this country. In government, for instance, or rather in our organizations, mobile phones has changed a lot into us. Number one, they've made us to use the facilities that are available in mobile to get the information from the people and to us, and from us to them. This is so that interactions. Most of our services now are going mobile. Say, for instance, somebody just wants to know, how do I register and get a birth certificate? You don't have to come to us just to ask that question. You just get into your mobile, send it to a particular SMS code, and it tells you how to, step by step, how to register. And then with that, when you come, you know exactly what you're supposed to do.
Birth registration is one of the fundamental rights of all children. And in Tanzania, the levels are exceptionally low, even compared to neighboring countries in the region. What we've found in general is that there is an inherent understanding that a birth certificate is valuable. So parents want children to have it. Even if they don't know what they're going to do with it, they want to have it. From a child's perspective, this is the first recognition of your government that you exist. And it's really a fundamental right, and so critical. You're being counted, basically. If you link the birth registration with the civil registration and vital statistics, you become a figure that enters into planning for, okay, how many are going to start first grade next year?
When I went at the first time to register, there were very long queue. Many moms were there, they want to register, so I decided I will go some other day. So when I heard about the new process of registration, and then I went today, it's much better, it's quicker, the guy is fast because he can register there with his phone. I think that's much better than before.
Birth certificates to my daughters, it gives them freedom of having their possession in terms of being Tanzanians. First of all, I do invest in Tanzania. Them being Tanzanians, that means they will benefit from whatsoever have invested in Tanzania. To me, that was unimaginable happiness. That she is and she will be Tanzanian just because she got my... It's a right.
We use the mobile system, so the people there, the officials that are doing the registrations, would key in the information into the mobile and therefore send the registration information to our server system, which is centrally located in Dar es Salaam. So with that, we managed to solve one of the biggest hurdles, and that is to get statistics of who was registered or not. So in the past, it was very difficult, extremely difficult. and we had a problem of double registrations. So we registered the same person twice, simply because information did not come to us in time. So this mobile application that our colleagues at Tigo and Milcom Foundation gave to us really was a lifesaver.
Now, we've learned a lot from the partnership in Mbeya, which has fed into a national dialogue on not just birth registration, but civil registration more broadly. It's a powerful advocacy tool, getting the issue of birth registration up to the political agenda and being able to say, look at these numbers coming in. I also think if you register a child within the first year, there's very little incentive to manipulate data. That comes later when you want to marry a 14-year-old and you make her 18 or whatever it is. I mean, there's much more incentive to manipulate data then. This is a huge success, and I think it's important to remember that as we get caught up in all the challenges, because it is complicated. I think the other key lesson coming out of this is that we need to work with more sectors within government, and that the health sector in particular has a critical role to play. You think that, let's say, half the children are born in a health facility. Of the rest of them, 49% will go to a health facility to get immunized. So within the first year, 99% of children in Tanzania will be in a health facility. So if we can use that opportunity to also register children, you know, it's going to go from, what is it now, 18% to 99% of children in Tanzania. That's a huge, huge difference. Children's rights are obviously critical. Children don't always recognize their own rights and don't always understand that they have the rights and what the rights are. And it is the basis for realizing a lot of other rights around access to education. Child protection works specifically on violence, abuse, and exploitation of children. And you find that the age of a child becomes a critical issue when children are in conflict with law, when children are being violated. Was it a child or is she a grown-up? I mean, these things become very critical. And there's always those children that are hardest to reach, either because they are in the most remote areas, because they are nomadic children, because they are extremely poor children, or because they're living on the streets or they have no family to live with. Issuing birth certificates is about reaching every child.
I said the penetration of mobile phone is growing in the country, and I think it's the same case everywhere in Africa. And if you take maybe 10 years back or 15 years back, you find like very few people had mobile phones. And at the beginning, mobile phone was like a class, something that would describe a certain class. But after the producers of mobile phones made them cheaper, I think now everyone is able to, like most people are able to afford a mobile phone. And the fact that there is so much creativity or innovation around mobile phone, like what do people are able to do with mobile phones, it makes it even people, like everyone wants to have one because they know they will listen to music, they will call their friends, and even the cost of communication has been reduced significantly. That ability to be able to avail this information in one place, in real time, that is where we see like the mobile phone is playing a very, very critical role. If you go to the birth registration or like death registration offices, you find like there are piles and piles of files stored for many years, but this information can be digitalized, can be stored in computer, can be stored electronically.
What I want to see for Africa is to come and copy, or rather see what the good things that we've done and see how they can, change their own countries through what we've done. This is what I want to see.
I would say that is a really important lesson learned that we want to take forward, certainly throughout Tanzania and to other parts of Africa as well.
What gives me passion, what really motivates me is to see that child hold a certificate and see wonderful faces that mothers have when they get these certificates. Our history here has not been very good when it comes to give those services to the people. My vision for this country is, first of all, is to get technology, move together with the fast changing systems that we are doing to ensure every child, everybody, every citizen recognized.